I am one of those people that not only considered Top Gun Maverick to be the best film of 2022, but also one of the best films I had seen in the last few years. If any of you have been recently keeping up with Hollywood, you would know that unfortunately this is not saying very much. Nonetheless, I was both thrilled and encouraged to see that there were still some people in the industry that cared about making great films. So as you can imagine, I was so excited to go and see the latest entry in the Mission Impossible franchise that hit theaters last week. So without further delay, I give you my review of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and consider this your spoiler warning. Going into this film, some initial concerns were as follows. The movie, just like most Part 1 movies, was going to feel dull and incomplete, and the film was going to drag due to its long runtime. This film surprisingly was able to be its own movie. Now, it does set up different things that will be resolved in Part 2, no question, but it doesn't need Part 2 for everything in it to make sense. When it came to being, 2 hours and 43 minutes, it went by reasonably quickly, but I still think that some scenes should have been shorter, in particular the chase scene in Rome. Despite being a big action film, Dead Reckoning has a lot of character moments. The film goes into what it means to be an IMF agent, with the responsibility and the sacrifice that one must make in such a life. This is seen through Ethan, who's the aged agent, and through newcomer Grace, played by Haley Atwell. Ethan and his team show Grace that since she got involved, she just can't go back to her old life and call it good. She, the youngest of them all, must make the choice. This comes through contacting a familiar face, the now CIA director Eugene Kindridge, who I forgot was such a great character. The rogue or evil AI villain has been unfortunately done to death in the past few decades in Hollywood. When I was watching Dead Reckoning and realized that the villain was going to be AI, you can imagine my immediate fear. However, though the entity, as it is called, is an AI villain, its plan is one we have not seen very much. It wants to control what the world sees as the truth. The entity sets the stage for the human characters inside the film. Some want to serve it, some want to destroy it, but unfortunately most would seek to control it. Just like with the One Ring, all the power that the entity holds, most people just can't bring themselves to get rid of it. The entity's human hand is its false prophet Gabriel, who is a fantastic villain played by Isai Morales. I certainly am looking forward to seeing more of him in Part 2. Before I close, I would like to address something in the film that has been called a fumble, having Ilsa die. Ilsa Faust, Rebecca Ferguson, has been a key character in the franchise since 2015's Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, but she meets her end in this film. I would have been frustrated if she would have died by being shot, how we were made to think she died at the beginning of the film. This did not happen though. She died fighting Gabriel in perhaps my favorite scene in the whole movie. Of course, I didn't want her to die, but I expected for there to be some character deaths in this film. Actually, I expected more characters to die. I guess we'll just have to wait for Part 2. The seventh Mission Impossible film is another success for the now decades-old spy franchise. Tom Cruise and the whole cast and crew all bring their A-game to deliver everything you want from a Mission Impossible film. However, some of the action scenes could have been shorter, and further, the whole film should not have exceeded 2 hours and 20 minutes, despite moving quite fast. Though Dead Reckoning Part 1 might not be the best Mission Impossible film, it still makes it in my top 3, with a 9 out of 10. And that brings us to the end of yet another video. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and please remember to leave a like, comment down below what you thought of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Did you love it, did you hate it, or was it right there in between? You can tell me all of that down below in the comments section, and subscribe for more content about movies. That's all for now, and I'll see you all next time.